Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy X-2. I'm Serious JG. It's kind of a weird start point for a video, but I did a little off-screening, not using Brother, although he is here as a playable monster with his incredible powers of Storm and Pardian and Telekinesis. I've equipped him with a Charm Bangle. I had switched him over to the Lore Bangle because I had been fighting through the Via Infinito and actually got through a few levels. Again, random maps. I hadn't gotten far enough to face any bosses. Haven't seen any new maps. Hadn't seen the enemy that I was talking about popping up as one you have to avoid. So you haven't missed anything super exciting. But I was just leveling the girls up a bit. They're averaging now level 64, so they're about 2/3 as powerful level-wise as you can get before you max out. And just working on getting skills and stuff, and everybody has now mastered or mistressed the Dark Knight Dress Sphere. And when we returned from the last video where we had our little scene with Owaka and Wants and welcome to Owaka's, the dialogue you get when you talk to Riku is, "Welcome to Owaka's, did I say it right?" Not voice acted. And Pain says, "Riku must be jealous. Wants' older brother is actually reliable." And there you go. Zany, wacky fun. And then I went to Via Infinito. So I was doing a lot of off-screening because what I realized is, I should probably get to work on oversouling all the enemies. And I realized then, too, that in order to get this garment grid that I'm looking to get eventually, you need to oversoul every enemy. You don't actually have to defeat the oversouled enemies. And enemy oversouling works by enemy type. So the game is full of, like, they're not even just literally palette swaps. Sometimes you have like a lizard where there's like goofy stuff sticking out the sides of their head in one species, and another species doesn't have that. They're still considered, quote, lizards. Or drakes is the one I'm thinking of, where one of them has big stuff sticking out of their head. So if you kill like if it takes 5 kills of an enemy in the 6-1 oversouls, and you kill 5 of a red wasp, and then you encounter a blue wasp with a different name and different attacks, the blue wasp will oversoul. So I'm just trying to oversoul every enemy type so that everything I encounter is oversouled. And what really got me going on this was that I encountered a Marlboro in the Via Infinito. So I just ran around in that area until I encountered enough Marlboros to get it to oversoul. I also encountered, we might see one, we might not, anybody who watched my Let's Play of Final Fantasy X, one of the optional super bosses from the monster factory, whatever it was called, the monster arena, was this giant like snail with a big conch shell on its back. So I ran into those and fought them, and I don't remember if we've seen them in this game or not, but now they're oversouled. And I think one of the Bevel Infinito, like every 20 levels you fight a boss, I think one of them is that same enemy type, so that will be oversouled when we fight it now. Fascinating, Captain. Having just finished oversouling all of the fiends I can encounter around here that can be oversouled, these guys can't be oversouled. Although they do annoyingly wipe out the tomb enemy has the ability to do a melee attack which kills people in one shot. I'm now using fireworks and sparklers with the samurai characters because that's this thing that they do. Oh, this better not work on both of them. Okay, it seems to have a pretty low hit rate. But I actually need to get out and save my game because it's been a while since I've saved. I've got a lot of off-screen, it'll be lost if I don't save my game. Luckily, Yuna knows all the white magic, so unless she's the one who gets killed, I don't usually have to waste a lot of items bringing people back. Although I have gone through quite a few high potions and Phoenix Downs in my off-screening down here. I don't even remember what level I'm on, but somewhere between 30 and 40, I think. Nope, it's only 28. Well, regardless.
Let's do it.
Let's fall in love. So this drowsy Ochu should be oversouled, yeah. Thought it was. I kept getting myself screwed up. I would accidentally kill oversouled enemies because they don't oversoul until their first turn comes up. So sometimes You can't tell they're oversold. Well, here's the enemy that I took a while to get oversold. The Shell Shocker. So we'll get a chance to see what combat with one of those is like eventually. I'm pretty sure. Not a Shell Shocker, but a enemy with the same appearance and a different name. Using sparklers takes MP, but it's still a decent idea because I think you learn skills faster when you actually use class-specific skills. And both Riku and Pain are now leveled up enough in the Alchemist Dress Sphere to use either. Yuna's not. She's actually the one who will be turning into an Alchemist fairly soon because she's the only one who has a lot left to learn as an Alchemist. The last attack the Alchemist learns is generally going to be Elixir, which costs 999 skill points to learn. Which is kind of annoying, but... And I probably won't use it that much, because usually if you're using an Alchemist, you're just spamming Mega Potions to keep the entire party healed. Although Elixirs restore MP, so I guess they would be useful in that sense. Yep. So do you need to defeat the Tonberry to even advance here? Usually they don't put you in a situation where you have to fight the optional enemy. Later in the dungeons, the enemies that you can actually see on the map that you might have to fight are pretty vicious, like really dangerous. More difficult, in fact, than some of the bosses until you get to the very bottom of the dungeon. The bosses at the very bottom of the dungeon are going to be probably tougher than the enemies that you are given the option of avoiding combat with. Let's hop here real quick. I think they're just going to talk about that place reminds me of the Far Plane, yeah. So they continue to talk about the Bevel dungeon. But if we look at the bestiary, we've got some wimpy enemies that we never got around to oversouling, which I'll have to probably go back to the earlier parts of the dungeon. We've also got some enemies that we never encountered, like one of these flying guys. I didn't do a lot of fighting in Macalania Woods, which for some reason is where a lot of the aquatic enemies ended up, so I didn't encounter those guys. But you see, probably more than half of the enemies that we have encountered, we have managed to oversoul. And now as I encounter them in the Bevel dungeon, you can run away from fights down there. If I was creating like a gimmick Ultimate Challenge dungeon, I might, Radius Challenge dungeon. Sorry. If I was creating some kind of like gimmick challenge dungeon, I probably would. That might be one of the rules. Like, you can't run from encounters down there. You have to fight your way through. They didn't do that. So yeah, there's quite a few things left for us to oversoul. And some of these, like, I don't know how you're supposed to oversoul Chocobo Eater or Anything Eater. I think it's just... The only reason I've even seen Anything Eater is probably because it's something I found in Monster Creator. Unless, no, was that the boss we fought in Act 4? Well, anyway, these are things that in the deeper levels of the dungeon we'll have to actually fight. But Shell Shocker we've now fought. This fiend is only half grown, but it's impossible to defeat in a fair fight. Oh, I don't disagree with that. But there's a tougher version of that same enemy to be encountered later. I'm kind of surprised that these things can oversoul, but apparently they can. So I'll need to keep an eye out for them. And I've oversold this thing, which I think is what that boss was. But Boris, who was a much earlier boss, I haven't oversold. So I'll have to figure out again from a FAQ or something what level of the Via Infinito does he pop up in. And I'll probably have to actually go find it in enter combat. Those things were showing up in Kilika Woods earlier in the game. We need to find the more souped up version of that to fight because we can get a blue magic from it. There's at least one enemy I came across while fighting down there that I could have gotten blue magic from and didn't because I wanted you guys to see anytime I got blue magic. So let's just go ahead and head back into Bevel and we'll just we'll put a video or two into just seeing how far down in this dungeon we can go. So I'm not really organizing this. We're just I mean, I could have done like my full Cloister run all in one set of videos. That probably, if I was doing this, if I was trying to do it as a walkthrough, that's how I do it. I'm not really doing a walkthrough though. I'm just kind of doing an LP. And I just hope the damn thing doesn't use its melee attack, because that's irritating as heck to me. Did its melee attack. And it did it on my healer. So once again, I have to bring her back between battles. I mean, I could prolong the battle and bring her back, but yeah. One shot kill via melee. There's going to be another enemy down here that can do that eventually. There's actually more than one enemy that can one-hit melee kill you, but one of them you can use Berserker's evade and attack, counterattack to deal with it, and another one you can't. So I'm gonna keep messing with Tonberries until one of them oversouls, and then I'll leave them alone. But it took quite a few. And actually I should be careful with that, because there was an issue where there were Tonberries that it appears you have to fight them to advance. So maybe I should stop picking fights with them, because what'll happen is I'll get to where they're oversold and then encounter a regular Tonberry and have to kill it to advance in the level, which will screw up my wanting to be in a position where they are always oversold, so that the next time, so when I encounter an enemy, I'm not going to go any further with this description other than to say that I want to be in a position where enemies are oversold and I can immediately run from them, including the Tonberry, but then I risk putting myself in a position where I have to fight the Tonberry to, for example, lower that thing. So this battle was a really irritating one to keep coming into, because I had the Coeral oversold before the gel enemy was oversold. So I kept having to find ways to kill the gel without killing the Coeral, which was much more annoying, and I wanted to get it killed first. But I had to keep it alive in its oversold form for however long it took me to kill the gel. So yeah, we got a ways to go before we get to a boss. I'm curious now what level this one enemy starts showing up at.
Think we can break our record?
Let's just win.
Let's just run. Lickety Split reminds me of its gross ass attacks where it licks you. Mighty Mouse? So I'm still encountering enemies that I was encountering in the previous 2 levels or so, and therefore already have oversold out. Okay, apparently there was no point to coming here. These things I can kill for experience because they don't oversoul. And I'm just constantly feeding ethers to these people who are constantly using their skills. And learn to clean slates. And I guess, because I even had the sound muted because I was listening to like riff tracks and stuff, I guess I've been missing, particularly for the Samurai Dress Sphere, I've done a lot of my leveling up the Samurai Dress Sphere off screen while listening to stuff. Oh, what's going to happen if I fight you? And as a result, I've probably missed a lot of cutesy dialogue when people do their attacks and stuff. Oh, you know what? This is... Oh. Yeah, and Bobo, if you're watching, one of the samurai skills is called No Fear. So that would, of course, be Cero Miedo in the Spanish language version. Oh, I didn't mean to do Magicide. That was a goof. There's also Hayate, which casts Haste, which is kind of neat. And Anticipating that being useful down the road, I've actually set up, although I'm not using it on anyone now, dress spheres on the garment grid that gives you access to your Bushido skills. Figuring that eventually I'll just want everybody to be able to take the first turn and use the Bushido skill that raises evade and cast haste. Any boss worth its salt has the ability to dispel your positive status stuff. So, okay, so apparently we did need to defeat that. Man, the encounter rate seems to have gone up. You know, can't play this game, which is clearly meant to be like as a mutual friend of Bobo's and mine that Bobo went to college with once referred to as like Final Fantasy Pretty Princess dress up. You can't help but kind of look at the different dress sphere outfits, and the samurai one I actually kind of like. It's, you know, they're kind of femmy and cute without really like being over the top, gratuitously sexy, and it doesn't. And it kind of captures a little bit of samurai feel, so it's nice. Use Mega Potion. I haven't done that in a little while. Ah, damn it. Well, I didn't know Yuna was going to wipe it out in one turn. Usually when it kills anyone other than Yuna, or Pain, who's currently the alchemist, I just have Pain use Mega Phoenix, which she has learned as an alchemist. Now I'm going to have to waste some of Yuna's precious magic, which she's using every turn on her Bushido skills anyway, to bring somebody back to life. Okay, here's how you get out. Oh, Cloister 30. So it's interesting. It's not a cloister that's going to have a boss. We do have some new enemies here. Although I can't fudge. I can't just go around using fireworks because I might kill the Cephalotus, which is not oversold yet. So these are the pain in the butt battles. You got multiple enemies, some of whom you need to keep alive, and others that you don't. And I don't even want to use Sparkler until I make sure this thing will survive one. And it didn't. So had I just quickly had somebody else go for an attack, there was a chance I would have accidentally wiped out that plant guy that was an oversoul. And I don't want to do that. Same enemy encounter. Okay, now everyone is overselling except for Asulate. Oh, and she just got rendered itchy, so she can't do anything anyway. So hopefully, no, not Magicide. It's my bad, but Yuna learned a skill called Magicide. Since I had already established exactly where on screen I needed to go to get her Sparkler attack.
Ready or not, here I come.
So now we can all run. As Riku goes, ooh, 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 ooh. Riku has become a huge fan of the dog-faced gremlin. Ooh, 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 ooh. So has the way out materialized yet? Are you gonna force me to fight the Tonberry? Okay, now they're all overselling, which means I can run away from this encounter. Which I want to do because one of them has an attack when oversold that takes your MP away. I didn't mean to fight you at all. Can't run away from these ones. It's actually okay because I've been meaning to get both of my samurais an ether. Forgot to have a cool beverage handy for this video. Oh, and you know what? I might just randomly mention this is the first. It won't go public until it's old news, I suppose. But this is the first video I've recorded with where Bean is officially my sister-in-law. So that's a fun thing. If anybody's not paying attention to my channel and or Bobo's channel and pays attention to my channel exclusively, then that won't mean very much to you. But I think we have a fairly high crossover between our two channels. Ooh, okay, so this is one I've been meaning to fight. Ironside, this might be the one that I haven't fought at all yet. This might be the one that does that does the attack I need to learn. I should consider switching over to oh, that was the wrong thing to switch to. I meant to switch to that. Maybe scan it.
Time to let the magic fly.
And I didn't buy I went back to the airship and forgot to buy supplies while I was there. Fiend encased in thick armor, strength, defense, and other attributes are all formidable. Some say the bigger they are, the harder they hit. They'd be right. I'm not sure if this is the one that you know what? There's no reason not to just check real quick. Is this the one I can learn a blue magic from? Because if it's not, I need to just stop messing around and finish it off. So, and it's one of the more useful ones. Because there's some that are really hard to get. This is one that it's not super hard to get. It's not easy to get. But there's more useful ones that are just really, really hard to get. Mortar. No, it's not mortar. Mortar I have to learn from somebody else. Storm cannon. Yes, this is the one that I can learn that from. Okay, so I need to try and figure this shit out here. It keeps knocking your MPs, or your hit points down to 1, which is super annoying.
The magical mayhem begins.
I'm the musical gangster. Wait. Okay, it's going for it. I just need to make sure I got shell applied in time here with Mighty Guard, or we could be in trouble. We should be good to survive it. I hope. Oh yeah, easily. Alright, let's probably just finish it off now. Could even run away and just call it a win that I learned the skill. Oh no, everyone should be using Absorb. Including the person who just got hit points taken away.
Ever seen this before?
Because it takes MP and hit points when you do that, although not very many hit points it looks like. You know what, let's use a storm cannon on you, ass face. Except that somebody needs to be using White Wind.
Eat, not leg.
Eat shit and die! We didn't quite finish it off with its own attack, which would have been fun. Yeah, let's try to kill it with Storm Cannon. Why the hell not? Oh, it's going for it again. Hey, with its doors open, does it take more damage? No, but it's still enough to kill it. Duck soup. Duck what? Sorry, that didn't actually happen there. Get back to my window that has the counter. Okay. Hey, so you know, you randomly got to watch us, got to watch the Goyles learn a new blue magic, so that was cool. You know, I had Yuna equipped with the sprint shoes so that she could cast haste, but I'm wondering if... Honestly, I should probably just use Ragnarok, and that way she can, I can have my, Alchemist just occasionally use, Ethers on Riku, and otherwise... Excuse me, stick with healing everybody. So we'll pop out and save our game, since we just learned a blue magic and I don't want to lose that progress. And even though I mentioned before, hey, I went back to the airship, I should have bought items. I'm not going to bother to buy items. And I shouldn't have gone back to the airship. Oh, that was stupid. I didn't actually think that one through. We don't need to go back to the airship to save. There's the save point that we used to get to the airship could simply have been used to save. Alright, and this video is going to be just a little on the short side, but we've had quite a few run a little bit over recently, so I think this will work. But I'm going to call it a video there. I think when we come back, we'll just go back into the Babel Underground for a while. Just kind of advance forward until it gets to be too tough, and then pull out and find other things to do. That's kind of the plan. We'll see. I might get bored of it and decide to come out and start doing Cactar side quest games. You never know what you're going to get from Serious JG. Thanks for watching, folks. See you next time.